Great. Okay, welcome to tonight's webinar, and I'm going to share my screen now, which is, yes, so welcome to the webinar. So tonight's webinar is all about the TLC products, and in particular how you can find out really valuable sources of information on the TLC products. So let's start off, because we've got such fantastic products which really can, they are awesome products, but we as IBOs need to find the necessary information to give to people when they're asking us questions. So the first thing we always need to remember, because often there are questions, for example, does ISOT help with diabetes? That's a very valid question, but we always need to remember the disclaimer, really to protect ourselves and our businesses. So just remember that we do recommend that people see a doctor. And the other thing is that our TLC products, they're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure or prevent any disease. So please do remember that disclaimer, because it's important, because it protects you as IBOs. That's why, and it also protects TLC. In particular, it will protect TLC from legal action against them, which could cost them a lot of money, so we don't want to put that in jeopardy. So, but what you can do is you can share personal testimonials about TLC products. And I'm going to show you how to find those testimonials very soon. And also just remember, another thing to remember, that proper nutrition is vital for overall good health. And when you get hold of these personal testimonials about TLC products, please don't embellish them or exaggerate them. That again is important. And our products aren't actually approved by this American FDA either. They are natural products, they're not pharmaceutical drugs. The other thing, of course, is about weight loss claims, and it's great. So many people are doing really well with weight loss, especially with the HCG. And but just remember again to always have a disclaimer for the weight loss. We don't want to claim that the TLC products are the sole reason for weight loss. And of course, people need a healthy diet, regular exercise, and everybody's body's different, so the weight loss will vary from one person to another. So I think the idea really with anything that when we're giving these testimonials, just to be sensible when you're giving these testimonials to people. So that's important, but these photographs are so powerful, and these are exactly the sort of photographs we're allowed to share with people, because these are real people who have amazing testimonials with TLC. So that's really good that we can share these testimonials. Now, this is a really good source of information, the IASO Skincare HQ group. Now, this group is just for the skincare products, and we'll look at the other products in a minute. But regarding the skincare products, this is a group that you can add members to. So if somebody joins your business, I would always recommend that you, the enroller, adds the new person on. So when somebody joins your team, I think it's a bit nicer if the enroller does it. However, if your enroller hasn't done it for you, you can just put your name or email address in there yourself, so you can add yourself to the group. Now, in a minute, I'm going to explain who Jennifer Tilney is and exactly the background to this group. So, this is the description of the group. Now, remember, tonight, this training really is for distributors, for people who are already in TLC. And we can get this information ourselves in order to help people who we're talking to. And the great thing is that there's lots of information in these groups, more than you'd immediately think, because there's quite a few PDF files. For example, the PDF files in the group, I'll show you them in a minute, and they've got all the information about the ingredients and what they're best for. So you can download those PDFs about the products. You can also save the photos that are in the group and share those photographs in the group. So Jennifer and Kevin, who run the skincare group, they are actually the creators and manufacturers of the skincare line. So that means that when you ask them a question, they come back with really accurate answers because they're the creators of the skincare line. So they're the very best people to answer the questions. So we're very lucky to have Jennifer and Kevin running this group, and it's really fantastic that they do this for us, really, and for TLC as a favour to TLC, because they have such a good relationship with TLC. So this is some of the files that are in the ISO Skincare HQ, and the great thing is it's constantly being updated. So you might look at this in a couple of months' time, and there'll be more files there just because Jennifer or Kevin has added more. So the most recent file from April 2016 was all about the citrus stem, and that's relating to, that's now in the Sol Day Cream. So this is how the products are constantly changing, and obviously it's great to get the latest version of the products, and as I said, directly from the creators of the product. So what you've got here is, this is a massive file that you can download, which has all the skincare products in there, including the Slim R. So the latest version was when they brought out the Slim R. And all of the ingredients are listed there as well. So there's a lot of information here in the files. So it's always good to look at the files first, but also you can actually search the group as well. So you see you've got this box here, and it's great to be able to search the group for something specific. So just as an example here, for example, the best-selling skin product from TLC is actually the ISO Emu oil. So today I did a search on that, and it brings up all of the posts on Emu oil, and it will always start with the most recent one. But it is great to do that, and I'm just going to show you something which I just found today, actually, on the Emu oil, which is, this is a great photo for sharing with people. Just, and the lady that shared this has said, apparently she broke her toenail very badly and thought she'd lose the whole thing. But then after about 6 weeks of using the emu oil on it every night, this is the result that she's had, which is pretty amazing. So I'm just getting a bit of background noise. I'll see if I can. I'm just going to manage the participants and check that everybody's on mute. Okay, yeah, everybody's on mute now. So That's great. And I'm just going to check if anybody else joins, they'll be muted too. So that's great. So this is exactly the sort of photo you're going to get in the group. And so whenever if you've got a Facebook page, for example, and you want to do some nice new posts, then do please find some great information from this group or the next group I'm going to show you, so that you're having some interesting new posts on Facebook that are going to attract people to your business. Now, there's also another group, which is actually this one is called IASO Product Answers, helping you to stay fit and healthy with total life changes. This is a public group, and it's run by some IBOs, and basically it's similar to the first group that I showed you, but this is run by IBOs rather than the manufacturers of any of our products or the creators of any of our products. But it's an absolutely fantastic source of information. What I try to do is, if somebody joins me, normally I would add people on their behalf. But what you need to do when someone joins you is, again, add people, or if you've not been added by your enroller, do please add yourself. What happens when you put your name in there is it is checked out by admin. So I would allow about a day to actually get the entry properly into the group. So if you add yourself, just allow a day or a couple of days for you to actually be able to view everything in the group. So, and again, there's absolutely loads of information. There's even more files in particular in this group. So these files, they're constantly being updated, and you can see all of the different files, the different, often it's under, something like a particular condition that people might be having, or basically they're incredibly useful, and there's actually about 4 or 5 pages of these. I was going to download all of them, and then I just ran out of space on my PowerPoint, so I've just downloaded two pages of this onto my PowerPoint for you, just to give you an idea of how much information there is. And so you can see a lot of them have been updated this year. We've got, there's for diabetes, all sorts of, often it's to do with a condition, or sometimes it's to do with a product. So sometimes what they've done is they've got extra information on the product, for example, NRG, T.E.A.M. So a huge amount of information here. So what we recommend really for you is to look first at this information before you look through, before you do a search within the group, or even before you ask a question within the group, because remember the admin of the group has already done so many files. What I thought I'd do is just open up one of the files to give you an idea of the sort of information that's in there. They vary, so I just chose the one on insomnia, and basically it's giving, the advice is Ganoderma, which is great for insomnia. And this is all brilliant information which I had personally not thought about before, about drinking Ganoderma as a tea before sleeping. I hadn't thought of that one before, so very useful information that people can try. And also, of course, the ingredients of the tea. There's 2 out of the ingredients of the tea also help with sleep. So that's just an example of one of the files. It's useful really to go through, download, some of the relevant ones to you, or just keep it there as a source of information for you. Now, what might happen occasionally is that the file that you've downloaded from the Facebook group isn't quite enough information, or you want a video as well. Because let's face it, videos are very powerful source of information, and often people just want to look at a quick video as well as having a good photo. So what you can do also is just go onto YouTube and do a search. So I did one today, ISOT and diabetes, and you can see here there's, you know, there's more videos than this have come up. These are just like some of the first ones that have come up. What you do need to be careful of with this, of course, is sharing this with somebody and not making sure that they have your IBO, because obviously, you know, this I'm sure is a very good video. Obviously the person's got their IBO there, so just be a bit careful about sending people that you're giving them your IBO. And generally speaking, just if we can put more of these videos on either your YouTube channel or my YouTube channel, so that we're not sending people to somebody else. So yeah, YouTube is a great source of information. Now there's also a more of a doctor's source, and is of course PubMed, and this is a recognised source of PubMed. It has been every published paper in the world and scientific journal articles are put onto PubMed, so it's an amazing source of information, and it's useful for some of the products, not all of them, because they're not all on there. So one of the things you can do on PubMed is you can type in a specific disease name, and then some of the products, in particular Ganoderma and Chaga, there are studies about both of those products on PubMed. So it's another great way of finding sources of information. So I'm just going to show you something from PubMed. So this is PubMed, and you can see here I was just beginning to type in Gano, and immediately this is what came up with all of these are all the relevant articles about Ganoderma lucidum with various illnesses, and again, without making any claims about TLC Ganoderma, because, well, TLC Ganoderma is 100% pure Ganoderma, which is pharmaceutical grade, and we say exactly how much Ganoderma is in there. And rather than saying to people, oh, TLC Ganoderma heals whatever, we can't say that, but we can say that people can have a look on PubMed and see studies about Ganoderma lucidum and diabetes, or Ganoderma lucidum and cancer or blood pressure. So it's a very valid source of information that we can use, in particular for the Ganoderma and the Chaga. Now, last but not least, we do of course have a lot of information in our back office. So this is the official TLC information as well. Now, to get to this, you'd go to resources, and then you'd, assuming that you want English, then you'd go to English here, and then if you click on the English box, you get a huge amount of IBO questions and answers, and lots of information about TLC, and if you scroll down on this page, you do come to some extra product information. So if you just go here, what we've got here as well is the one-sheet summaries. So, you know, a one-sheet summary about Slim PM or NutriBurst, extra information about HCG. You know, these are supplement facts. And again, about the skin products here as well. So these are, you know, as well as, you know, the Facebook groups, PubMed. This is company information, which of course we can share with people because the company has actually published this. It's the company's description. So that's another great source of information for you. So just to summarize what I've gone through, it's really important. As I said, we had the disclaimer at the beginning about the products, but just remember also to say to people as well that actually the body heals itself. So when the body is given the right nutrients and the right stimulation, it knows what to do. So again, that's a good thing to say to people, and also to say to people, well, you know, I'm not a doctor, but here's a testimonial about our products. But do always stress that we're not doctors, and to do this business, we don't need to be doctors. We don't need to have amazing product knowledge, because all of that information is available online for people to find themselves. So now there's a little bit of team news before we go on to questions. First of all, we do have our opportunity event in London on the 4th of June, which is £5 if you're already in TLC, and it's free of charge for guests. And we've now got a flyer for this event as well, just stressing that and reminding people we are the #1 ranked compensation plan, and we're the #2 fastest growing company. So please do come along, and do please bring guests to that event in London. And one more thing which I will just mention about, just a reminder about the customs charges. In particular, this is an update really about ordering the NutriBurst. We do advise, now we've had certainly somebody ordered 2 NutriBursts just as an order of 2 NutriBursts, and unfortunately they did get a customs charge on that. So it seems that in particular they're putting a slightly higher value on the NutriBurst. So do beware of ordering more than 1 NutriBurst at once. It's okay to have NutriBurst and ISOT, for example, that's okay. And it's also okay to order a large pack of ISOT, because the ISOT is always declared at a lower value. But generally speaking, ideally don't place individual orders above about $150, certainly not over $200, because if they put the value as being $100 on the label, you will unfortunately get a customs charge at present until we get a warehouse in Holland. So just a reminder, the ISOT is no problem, 16 packets there, and the value declared is $10. That's not a problem. However, when you've got a larger pack of, there's 3 or 4 skincare products coming in, and the value declared for customs was $118. So of course there was a charge on that. So I just wanted to remind you of that as we finish. And of course, the other place where you can ask questions is in a WhatsApp group, and I will be doing more regular, more product emails as well. That's another source of information for people, is product emails that I will be sending regular ones, so do please keep those as well as sources of information. Okay, so I've whizzed through that quite fast, so I'm going to see if I've got any questions. And so let me just have a look in the chat. Okay, so I'm opening it up now for questions regarding, as I said, how in particular we can get anything more about the products, or getting product information as well. How we can find product information. Are there any more questions? We did have an interesting chat just while I'm waiting for questions on the WhatsApp group as well about hay fever, and it's definitely the time of year to be sharing those hay fever testimonies about the ISOT. And of course the WhatsApp group is great for answering questions, and it's brilliant if people are on hand to answer the questions. That's great, but it's also good, especially as the team grows, and if we've got another 100 people in the team, then it's always good that as IBOs we can get people to answer find their own sources of information. That's really important. And sometimes if you're there and someone's just about to enroll in TLC, and maybe you ask a question in the WhatsApp group saying, what about, does ISOT help diabetes? And if we all happen to be busy at that time and the question doesn't get answered straight away, it's great if you can immediately do a quick look on YouTube to see what sources of information are available, or in the Facebook group. So, okay, so no questions so far. People are excited to check the links and resources. That's great. So if there's no more questions, then I'm going to finish. So because it was slightly less information tonight, but in particular I wanted it to be enabling to people to find information and find it quickly. Okay, so I'm just going to, thank you and good night everyone. So in that case I'm just gonna unmute you and we'll say good night for tonight. Okay, good night everyone. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night.
Well, thank you.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Huh?